Geometry 1, Chapter 1 Test, Skill 6. You should know how to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle and triangle given coordinates. So the first example, find the area and perimeter of rectangle ABCD where A is -1, 4, B is -1, 1, C is -4, 3, and D is -1, 3. Well, the first thing, especially because they give us a coordinate plane, x and y axes, we should plot those points. So -4, 1 means left 4 and then up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, we get point A. The point -1, 1 means we go left 1 and then up 1. Left 1, up 1. Point B. Point C is -4, 3. That means left 4, then down 3. All the way to -4, down to -3 for point C. Point D is -1, -3, -1, -3, point D. And we get this shape right here. Now that shape is a rectangle, has 4 sides. The top and the bottom are the same. The left and the right are the same length. They're also parallel. We have some 90-degree angles. This is a rectangle. So we need to find the area and perimeter using the formula for a rectangle. For a rectangle, the formula for area is A equals LW. In this case, L stands for the length and W stands for the width. Now it's not particularly important which one's which. I typically refer to the distance from C to D as the width. And since we have the picture, to get the width, we simply count. How many squares is it from C to D? Here's 1, 2, 3 units. The length, which I call the height also, is the distance from B to D. How many squares is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 units tall. So, length and width, 4 times 3, 12 units. And they're actually units squared. So area equals 12 units squared. Now for the perimeter, the formula is 2L plus 2W. And if you learned a different formula before, you're welcome to use that. I personally don't use L and W at all. I use base and height, B and H, as my 2 letters. Ultimately, it doesn't make a difference. They're just variables. But here, what did we say the length was? Well, the length was the 4. So that's 2 times 4 plus 2 times the width, which we counted as 3. Order of operations, we need to do the multiplication first. So that's 8 plus 6, 14. Now for perimeter, those units are just regular units, 14U, as our final answer. Area is units squared, perimeter is units. The units themselves, units squared or units for area and perimeter, are very, very important if you're actually applying this geometry outside of a problem. But within the context of this problem, we're not going to try to trick you and mix up the units on you. Now, in addition to being able to do this with a rectangle, we need to be able to do the same sort of problem with a triangle. So the second example, find the area and perimeter of triangle ABC, where A is the point 2,1, B is the point 4,1, and C is the point 2,5. So first thing, they give us the coordinate plane, so plot the points. A is 2, 1. That means right 2, up 1. B is 4, 1. Right 4, up 1. C is the 0.25. Sorry, there's B. C is the 0.25. That means right 2, up 5. And we get a triangle. Looks something kind of like this. Now for a triangle, we have two formulas. The first one, the area formula. 1/2 base times height. The base is the bottom. The height goes straight up and down. And we count from the picture. So the 1/2 is still there. The base, how far is it from A to B across the bottom? Well, that's 2 units. So the base is 2. The height, we count the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, is 4. So 1/2 base times height is 1/2 times 2 times 4. 1/2 times 2, half of 2 is 1, times 4 is 4. Because it's area, it's 4 units squared. Now perimeter is a little trickier here because the perimeter for a triangle is A plus B plus C, where A, B, and C are the 3 side lengths of the triangle. Well, the first side length is 2. The second side length is 4. We just counted those. But the third side length, from C to B, this one we can't count because it's not straight up and down or horizontal. It cuts across the graph paper, so we need another way to do it. You have 2 options here. Option 1 is Pythagorean's theorem. Pythagorean theorem says that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now I hesitate with this method just a little bit because we haven't actually studied it yet in geometry. So for this problem, if you want to use Pythagorean theorem, you will have to use prior knowledge from Algebra 1, 2, from a previous geometry class, from middle school, wherever maybe you've learned Pythagorean theorem before. A and B are the 2 legs. So this is 2 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. This is 4 plus 16 equals C squared. So 20 equals C squared. To get rid of the square root, or to get rid of the square, you take the square root of both sides, and you get C equals the square root of 20. And that's what we add on as our third side. Now because of the square root of 20, we do have to use a calculator to actually type this in. And when you do, you get approximately 10.5 units as your perimeter. Now, if you're not familiar with Pythagorean theorem, there is another way to calculate the distance between those points. And that's actually using what I just said, calculating the distance between them. That's the distance formula. Distance formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And for this problem, our x's and our y's would come from the point C and the point B. So up here, we'd have x1, y1, x2, y2, and we could actually plug it in. x2 minus x1, 2 minus 4 squared, plus y2 minus y1, that's 5 minus 1 squared. Parentheses first, negative 2 squared plus 4 squared. Negative 2 times negative 2, this is 4 plus 16. And you actually end up with the square root of 20, just like you do if you use Pythagorean theorem. But the distance formula is actually one we have studied in Geometry 1. To find more information about the distance formula, please refer to Chapter 1 test skill number 2.